Hello, everybody. I am Spegtacular, the Silverstacular, and I am here with what I think is the coolest modern day pirate who raids silver for this giant museum that he's put together. I'm here with Captain Coda. And Captain Coda, you have a seriously giant collection. I would wonder if this is the biggest collection of poured silver in the world. It's hard to say if it is or not. I don't know. It's up for debate. But I want you to show my fans, who are going to be your fans, your crazy collection that you've put together in this museum. And introduce yourself, please.
Ahoy, me hearties. Captain Coda here. If you don't know me, I probably left you chum slick a while ago going for some pieces, and you got the raw end of the deal. But I am here in my Poured New World Museum and show you what a boatload of silver looks like, and gold. Anything precious metals, art related, in a poured situation, I try to get it.
What do you find so interesting, Captain, about poured silver? What is the lure to you for that stuff?
I think mostly the, of course, creative aspect of everything, the rarity of it, handmade. A lot of stuff that I have is either a one of one or prototypes or number ones, just the finest and most rare from whoever I can get and whoever I like and what they've got going on out there. I think that the uniqueness and the beauty is what strikes me the most, and always has. To have something that there's nothing else like it out there, and I am the only one that has it. I love that.
Yeah, these pieces, every single one, let's say that a creator does a piece, like 5 pieces or 10 pieces of a certain look. Each one of those 10 pieces are going to really truly be a one of one, because silver doesn't, melt and solidify the same way every single time. So it's fascinating how it's just so different, and how you have these snowflakes in your collection.
Oh yeah. You definitely can have limited edition runs, and every piece has a character to it, all its own. Even though they have somewhat similar designs, they are very much have a fingerprint. They have a mojo about them, or a signature powerful look, even to where some creators don't even need a COA to know that they made a piece.
Right. I think that for me, X Metals is one of those creators, and we're going to throw some names out too of different creators of these different poured pieces. But X Metals for me was always that creator that needed no COA. His pour lines were unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Yep, I definitely have X Metals pieces. The flat tire.
The flat tire, that was what he was known for sure, and still is. I mean, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Now, do you have an idea how many different creators' pieces you actually have?
I'm over 210 creators. I say creators as it encompasses the whole thing, because not everything has been like made by an artist per se. Some people do collaborations and all kinds of stuff, and so they can help with the creative process, but not necessarily be an artist. But saying creator to me is, it encompasses the whole thing. And so I'm 210 creators' works in my museum at this point, and still have pieces en route, from other artists and stuff like that.
So you're not done by any means collecting and putting stuff into this museum you've created?
Oh no, there's room. There's room for more. I think a lot of the reason why I like poured silver and poured precious metal is because it's always evolving, it's always changing, and it's not like hundreds of thousands of the same cookie cutter little piece out of a mass mint or something like that, where you see one silver eagle pretty much. I mean, you see them all, and all that kind of stuff. So it keeps my interest, even though I have all that stuff. I don't only have poured silver. I'm very just diversified stack. I love Geigers. Oh, I love Geigers. I mean, top shelf. I mean, so I have a bunch of different stuff, and that's my security moat. If I want to pedal something later, I'll pedal all that kind of stuff, save my pours, because they're like fine wine. They just get better with age. But I know people probably want to see some of this stuff, eh?
Flip it around and let's see some of what you got.
This little turntable. Now I've got a lot of poured gold as well. Let me turn my little lights on here. So I've got a lot of poured gold, over 20 ounces of poured gold. And most of the firsts from a lot of the modern pour artists, I tried to, get on them really quick, even send them gold to do them for me and all that kind of stuff, so I could get their firsts. So I've got a bunch. I've got a couple turntables full of gold spinning in these displays. So we've got quite a few different artists' works all around here. If you're familiar, you'll see different artists' works all around this tabletop that's spinning. It's pretty fun. So I just put a little plethora there of stuff. And we've got, of course, Bunker Bullion, his own little wing, I call him. And my Rev Ty collection, which is incredible. Over 60 pieces from Rev Ty, who no longer pours, but some amazing pieces. And of course, the community pieces.
And some of these communities, they no longer have YouTube channels, or they're not doing whatever community thing that they were doing at the time, Instagram, whatever the case may be. They've moved on.
Yeah. So a lot of these, I mean, these first generation channel bars, I mean, they can command into the hundreds if you can get lucky enough to even get some of them that people are after. Of course, I have a bunch of silver baggins. I love silver baggins, and there's the International Silver Syndicate that MK Bars did. Very short-lived situation, and I have the number ones and the number twos, two of their bars. And then the silver baggins prototypes, Salivate Metals prototypes, just a bunch. There's one of the 4-ounce How You Stacking. There are only 5 of those. And of course, the Charity 20-ounce from, I believe that was back in 2018 or 19. That's the one that put me on the map when I beat out everybody. And they're like, who is this guy? It was a fun time.
I know you beat me on that piece right there. And if you ever want to sell that piece to anybody, please consider me on that piece.
Oh, for the Charity?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I've got, of course, nonchalantly and kind of around the, out of it, I've rated silver Slacker, who is someone who's influenced me a ton back in the day. I was like, oh my gosh, one of the greatest modern pirates of our time, and that chess set's from him. And I've got quite a few of his really exclusive pieces. I wasn't starstruck, and I kept my cool, and he didn't really know that I knew who he was, but I did. And it's really fun raiding him as someone who I looked up to. These are a bunch of MKs.
That's so wild how many different designs there are out there. And it's like somebody like me who has poured silver, like I know there's different designs, but when you look at your crazy collection you have here, this museum you've created, and you see that many different designs, it's intense.
Yeah, it is crazy. You know, I've got the box sets. I've got the first couple years of the MK exclusives club, and I've got pretty much all the number ones and number twos of the very first ones ever. That's what this whole wing right here are all his exclusive pieces from the exclusive membership. And that's the only way you can get them, you know, or secondary, you know, so that's really cool. Let's see, that little piece right there I call the ugly duckling. That's one of my favorite pieces. I don't know why. It's just reminds me of Pink Floyd, The Wall, and just that weird little skeleton dude.
Is that a laser etched Captain Coda piece right next to it?
Yeah, that's the one that Mike did for me. That's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Just a silhouette.
That's got to mean to you that these port artists are doing special pieces just for you.
Yeah, I've got quite a few that are, you know, that were just made for me. And the lighting's a little off here, but just a bunch. I love the Deep Stackers series with MK, all 2-ounce, just so fun. And then got a lot of really high-end rare MKs, all those sugar skull, all the sugar animals, those are all you know, the number ones, and all the Viking series number ones right there. And of course, set from you know, Donald Trump set, big Texas 20-ounce Texas meetup bar in the back there to the right, and signed JP medals and MK collabo with the drum set in the back. And that's the number one as well. And of course, the 100-ounce skull.
Wow.
Filled its eyes with nuggets. And then that hand is the 6-ounce Atmix hand. There's 10 or less. One of the most valuable MK pieces right there is that hand that I put over the skull's head. And then another turntable of gold. Bunch of different artists. You got all around this turntable here, all the way to the back. And, you know, that's a Smitty's bullion out of Australia, that skull in the back. And so stuff from all over the world. And then, of course, got my wild pig collection, which I love. Wild pig, extremely handmade. Everything's just super, just one of a kind. I call him the baker. He just carves everything up and molds and all that, just stuff that you can't duplicate it, you know. So there's some safety in that. And yeah, it's just, his work's just incredible. Got some old Sterling bars of his from the very beginning. I did the turquoise cab on that. I spun it at a friend of mine's house and made that turquoise cab, sent it to him, and he put it into a 10-ounce piece of silver. I love turquoise. And this is another level of all wild pig. And of course, the impregnated biatch right in the center there. That's been around Canada and back, and finally got that into my hoard. And then got Mutiny medals. Love Mutiny. Got a bunch of Mutiny.
True. I bet you that I could just name off a creator of this art and you would know exactly where it is in your museum. You have it down to that kind of degree where you just know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, the bear. I love the bear. The bear makes some incredible pieces. just so unique. And then, of course, super high-end Landis Studios. Got quite a few Landis Studios, which are amazing. And then my little Canadian wing. This is all like JP, Beaver Bullion, and some MG Limiteds as well. And then down here we've got Will's Attic and Brian Barfnick, Barely Living. Just love their work, is just incredible. And yeah, I've got quite a bit. Really, really nice pieces from them. And then we've got Moose Wolf Metals, who I just love. Very original works. The more original, the better. I can't say that enough. You know, I like to have stuff that you don't need a COA. And then I've got all my.
Speaking of, you probably have an entire museum just of the paper or cardboard COAs.
Oh yeah, I've got so many, and so in order to keep track of all this stuff, I had to catalog, and there's certain pieces that have little tiny stickers with numbers that match up to COAs, so I don't forget what goes to what. We'll just kind of circle back around to, there's 6 cases that are all full. And we'll circle back to this case here, which is me Volmers. Love Volmer. Then we got the Port Corner. All their stuff. And Atlantis Mint. And got FFC Texas. And of course, Bay City Bullion, amazing. MTO, who's just phenomenal. And Gold Spartan. And AB, along with Silver Stackaholic. Some incredible Silver Stackaholic pieces. And Valhalla. Love Valhalla. Some of the greatest Valhalla pieces ever made. Thanks to me, Angus. Love you, bro. Thanks for sharing those. And we've got YPS, some of the most rare prototypes of YPS. And then Timmy Chipman, incredible artist. And back over here, of course, Heavy Metal Studio. And Brother in Mint. Some of these people are no longer pouring, but you've got ZZ, who I love. Love ZZ Metals, X Metals, some of the really good ones. There's my flat tires. There's a custom piece from Mr. Zeke. Freaking OG and a half. And Silver Knight out of England. And there's some collabos that are to die for on that turntable. We've got the collabo from 2018 with this 15-ounce plus bar that Dixie Silver Miner made and sent it all over the country, and everybody stamped it. And you are in the scene, you know what that is. Unbelievable trophy, along with Louisiana First Meetup chunker right there from Omega Metals with Nug Life, Stacking New York, all that on there. And then all these guys on this bar from a couple years ago. And Louisiana's Meetup right there as well. Incredible pieces. And then Lake House Beach, who I love, very original artist, love his works. And of course, Cannibal Hector and me Silver Dragon, Silver Baggins. Got the golf ball he poured live. Extreme Trophy, and there's some Lost Coast treasures. Got the Deplorable, El Dorado. Man, there's some controversy around all those pieces there. And there's my first piece I ever poured right here. That little guy holding his fish. And drone silver there. We've got a lot of Monarch precious metals as well. And there's so much dead crow at all. There's another piece that was custom. And the very first in the world prototype poured and graded from SAC there in the back. Locker Mint did those two pieces. And if you know your stuff, you're going to know what those Obama pieces are. Absolutely insane. And of course, some of the very first Spegtaculars ever made. And a bunch of copper as well, Valhallas, you name it, a bunch of creators. I love copper. I love other metals. They're beautiful. They add some spice. So there's quite a bit, but it is definitely fun.
Captain, I remember seeing in that whole collection, I remember a tree. That tree is actually poured silver, is it not?
Yeah, and that's silver Akula mix, those trees. They're very rare, beautiful. Circle around to that. Hand twist, hand makes every little piece. Tone trunk, everything. 3 ounce. Just had to have one.
Yeah, it's wild.
And that's a 12-ounce piece. ZZ did a big wood pour from back in, I think, 2019. He did that one for me. And of course, I've got a few pieces up here. This is my first piece right here that I did limited edition here for a poured piece recently. I think you have one of those.
I do. You sent me one. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that.
And then that's my 4-ounce Predator ring that Menahune out of Hawaii did that for me. My first art bar ever. Super historic. First limited run out of MK for an art bar ever was mine. And that's my new piece coming up. I'll be auctioning some of these off, and signed and numbered a couple of those annexed Poured New World rounds. And then of course my ring, that's what broke the ice talking to MK, was when I had that made and showed it to him and said, hey, check this out. And then this is my die for that's now retired. And I signed the die and the retired date on there. So anyone who has those are very lucky. And this is the very first piece of silver that I got from my brother-in-law back in 2014 that kind of planted a little bug. America the Beautiful.
So you received that piece of silver as a gift, and your entire collection that we see right now in this museum was because of that one piece.
Yeah, my brother-in-law gave that to me for Christmas. I didn't really know much at that point, but that got the curiosity going, and then started, me and collecting from there, just regular, other America the Beautifuls. And then I went into some auction sites because I was into Indian jewelry, turquoise and sterling silver, and doing all that kind of stuff. And then kind of branched out on iCollector and started to hit the coin auctions out of Canada and different areas, and started to collect some Canadian mint stuff. And it kind of just transitioned into the pours over time.
What does your brother-in-law think about your collection that he started?
Uh, he loves to sit in here, that's for sure. It's just never ending, just checking everything out, and he's pretty blown away for sure. No doubt about it. So,
Captain, obviously the idea is to put this video on my YouTube channel for the world to see, and I hope you're okay with that. Are you?
yeah, yes, I think the world needs to see. Wish I wasn't so jerky with everything, but you can get the gist of what's going on here, and it is really an enjoyable thing and a fun way to save money as well.
I want to bring this out because inevitably there's going to be this particular comment on this video when I release it. Somewhere down in the comments below, somebody's going to say, I don't understand that stuff because silver is silver. What is your opinion or your comeback to that comment? Silver is silver.
Well, if you think of silver as a metal, then you're right. But certain forms, silver put into certain forms, then it changes somewhat. And so when you have a stuff that's as artistically done and the hours involved, to create these pieces. I mean, I've done my own. I showed you my poured piece I did recently, and I literally spent 3 days on 50 pieces, hand hammering, smashing my thumbs, polishing, and the work involved. It's not just silver at that point. It is beyond just silver. When you add the time and the forging and the creation and the blood, sweat, and tears and the just everything that surrounds, sometimes one piece can take hours and hours to even make and or acquisition it into your stash. It's not just silver. It's treasure.
I think that finally some of these big online dealers have understood that there's a huge desire for this stuff from some collectors, and they began adding sections to their websites that have poured silver. How does that make you feel as somebody who's trying to spread the hobby?
I think it's great. The more it can be out there and accessible, and people can look into it. My thing at some point is to branch out, isolate artists, go into detail and depth on their pieces and how they're different or how they stand out or what I like about them. And initially, hopefully, take that to another level where people will be able to actually, come to see my stuff, and then I can send them in the right directions that they can feel confident, because everything I have is nothing but the finest. And I want to be able to help whoever go to the right spot, because it's an overwhelming thing. If you don't know and you're just getting into it, it's scary, and we all know that. And so any way that you can make, people more comfortable or whatever, to even break the ice to get into it, is a bonus, because once that's done, then they can start to have some confidence and start to feel better about continuing, moving into it. I'm not a flipper. I'm not a quick flipper. So that whole side of things is a whole other realm that I don't really delve that much into, because I'm a collector, but at least getting people involved, is better in the long run for everybody. The more people that can be involved, there's plenty to go around.
Right on. And I want to let people know that there are some questions out there that I'm not asking you, and Captain Coda and I have kind of gone over some of these questions prior to making this video. Like, for instance, the question of like, how much do you think everything is worth, or how much did you spend on your entire collection? There's no reason to ask that question. I mean, you can guess that it's a lot of money, but certain things need to be kind of kept private. And in order for Captain Coda to be willing to put this kind of collection out on the internet to show people, there's got to be some privacy still. Some things have to remain private, and so I have to respect that. Captain, do you have any regrets on your purchase?
Any regrets? That I don't have twice as much. I think I feel bad sometimes. I think when I don't raid as much as maybe some people think I should from certain people, and whether they take that personally is probably one of the biggest thing that bugs me, because I try to stay, and I've always tried to stay, even though MK is my mainstay and the biggest portion of my stack. I've tried to be supportive and help and buy stuff from everybody who I like what they're doing, and really try to be fairly neutral and pretty supportive of MK all the way down to somebody who caught my eye that's just been doing this just for a short period of time. And some people, it's taken me 2 years to get one of their pieces in, and other people, I nab something instantly because it just possessed me. I just get super possessed by certain stuff, and it's bam, I'm on it like there's no tomorrow. And so that part of things, I hope that people can realize that I can't just have thousands of pieces from each one of you guys that are out there creating, but I will definitely get what I can when I can.
I think it's great that you are supporting the community. You're trying to build the hobby by your willingness to show off your collection, to make an entire museum out of it. That's awesome. I am quite honored for my small little bit of pouring silver that you were wanting to put some of my pieces in your collection. It's a great honor for me, because I know how serious you are in the pour game, and everybody now knows it and can see it. So thank you very much. Thank you for your willingness to show your collection. A lot of people, they die with their collection. They never show it. They never let anybody know what a great thing that they've done and collected. And I find that to be such a shame. And so, I think it's awesome what you're doing. And is there anything you want to say kind of on the outro here? If people want to come and look you up more, of course, I'll put information down in the description, but anything else you want to, as a going out thing to say?
I would just say the time is always now, and just get into it. Like I put on videos when I showed my first actual boat load of silver, like probably 3-4 years ago. That's what I said then, and I'll say it again now. The time is now. 10 years from now, you can't go back to this time and get some of these pieces that we're privy to and lucky enough to be in this right now. We're lucky. We are so lucky. And just get what you like. Get what you like. And raid hard, raid heavy, and whack any dredges in the way of ye and your sweet trade. Me Speg.
Captain, it's like I said, it's been an honor. It's awesome that you're doing this, and thank you so much for being there for the community again, and being a friend, be willing to meet me in person when we went out to the fun show and stuff. And we both seen that each other is a real person, and we like to collect. And if you are a lover of silver, give poured silver just a little chance. Go out and grab a piece if you find one, if you see an artist you like, and hold on to it, touch it.
Yeah.
Touch poured silver. That's the best part. Put your fingers all over it. You can drop it, won't kill it.
Play with your silver. Yeah, it's one of the coolest things, you know. I mean, it's completely still an underrated situation. There's, you know, there's just a lot of potential, you know, for a lot of these things. Not every piece, but I for sure have some pieces that are worth way more than what I paid for them at this point. And you know, and that's what happens. You know, you luck out and you grab stuff, and you've got yourself a gem that ripens with age.
Right on. Captain, just before we go, will you show people the poured silver that you've made into necklaces, or were made into necklaces for you around your neck there?
Yeah, this is a skeleton keys set that I had custom made from Mrs. Vulcan. And yeah, a few years ago. And I just love it. I mean, it's just an incredible set of skeleton keys. And they're not really pouring too much, it seems like, these days. And that's what happens, you know, just like any artists or creators, they kind of come and go. And you know, and a lot of times, like even with my rev ties, you know, you try and get a rev tie nowadays, good luck. I mean, that's what happens. So, you know, that it's just incredible to have pieces from some of these people that aren't really doing it anymore. And they're just trophies.
Right on. Well, Captain, again, thank you so much. And if something ever changes, if you end up making a whole nother case and you want to show that case off, feel free to come here. And again, anybody that wants to know more about Captain Coda, his amazing collection, and if you want to go ahead and reach out to him, maybe he can send you on a journey to find some of these poured treasure artists that could sell you some really cool pieces. Reach out to him via the links down below in the description of the video. Captain, thank you so much, and hopefully we see you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much, Speg, and I'm glad that we finally got to do this. You guys don't know, but we've been working on this for quite a while, and it's just been a lot of work, and glad that I could share and you know, and be here and help with everybody and whatever we all want to do.
Right on. Spegtacular. I'm gonna leave you with this. Captain Coda is a modern day pirate. You see his modern day treasure right behind you. And Captain, it was amazing to hear you fulfill your dream that you had as a child, now as an adult, by collecting and holding on to this awesome poured treasure that you have.
Great. Yeah, it's been great, and get into it. You'll not regret it. It's been very fun.
Thank you, Captain. We'll see you next time.
Ahoy, me hearties. Watch out or I'll turn you into a chump slick soon enough.
Well, hello, everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular.